I think what Pompeo is doing and Bolton is really, creating a situation of potential devastating confrontation, which not only includes Iran, but we always said in the past that if it would come to a military confrontation with Iran, it does have the potential of escalating into a big war. Now, what happened was basically, that 1 year ago, people will remember that the United States unilaterally canceled the nuclear agreement with Iran, which was originally signed by the five permanent members of the UN Security Council plus Germany. So the US withdrew. Then they increased the sanctions, which have made quite massive problems for the Iranian economy. And more recently, the US put the Iranian Revolutionary Guards on the terror list, which is, one thing to cause an escalation. Then Iran, in a counter move, put all the US troops in the region in Southwest Asia on a terror list. So that already means a complete powder keg. And now, basically, Bolton, in his capacity as national security advisor, which is really not his job, ordered this US aircraft carrier and a whole bunch of other warships to leave the Mediterranean towards the Persian Gulf. So this is a high profile situation. Now, Iran, Rouhani responded to that. The parliament had a meeting and they decided that Iran would reduce its obligations according to this treaty. And Rouhani put a 60-day ultimatum to the Europeans to fulfill their commitments according to this treaty. Now, he claimed that the Europeans did not stand nor hold out the pressure coming from the United States. And that is absolutely true, because all the German firms which had invested in Iran practically withdrew, and most of the other Europeans as well. So, the Europeans definitely, despite their initial statements that they would, not capitulate, they did de facto. So the big question naturally is, what will they do in the next 60 days? And obviously, if Iran would go back to develop nuclear weapons, then this would be the complete pretext, for more moves. So this is really very, very dangerous. And I think this is definitely a neocon policy. Unfortunately, Trump seems to be on that line right now. The whole thing was also escalated when about 10 days ago, the national security team of Netanyahu visited Washington, met with Bolton's team, and that is where the line came from, that Iran is an immediate threat to the United States and its allies. Now, Pompeo, who was supposed to come, he was in Finland talking to the Arctic Council, where he made an absolutely unbelievable attack on China. I mean, really beyond the beyond, comparing it to the 30s, the implication that they're like the Nazis. I mean, really an unbelievable tone. And then he was supposed to come to Germany and meet with Merkel and Foreign Minister Maas. And he just told them he wouldn't come because of an international security matter without telling them what it was. Then he turns up in Iraq to put pressure on the Iraqi government because of Iran. And then the German government found out that he was in Iraq, and then he went on to Great Britain. Now, I think this is a kind of confrontational behavior, which for sure, I mean, it's not even clear that it was Trump who told Pompeo to not come to Germany. But this is the kind of behavior which really makes it very difficult. And I think Trump is not well advised to keep these neocons around him, because Trump has said repeatedly, he almost says it every day in some tweet, he wants to have good relationship with Russia and China. And then the entire intelligence community, which just was caught red-handed of having been in a coup attempt against his administration, they are coming out with this absolutely violent anti-China line. And the neocons in his administration, mainly Bolton, Pompeo, Pence to a certain extent, they are doing everything possible to heat up these crisis spots so that any kind of serious policy for Trump is impossible. So I think this is an untenable situation, because either Trump succeeds in improving the relationship with Russia and China, and then every other crisis can be settled, or these neocons have the upper hand, and then the Trump presidency will not succeed what it set out to do.